Hi everybody. A few weeks ago, Stu left a comment on one of the videos that we posted, just taking delivery of his new 6.1, and they were using it for the weekend, and asked about the heating system because he'd read the handbook and was a bit confused by it. So we were looking at what we were going to do today, so we thought, actually fact, it's about right time. Haven't looked at the heating system before, so we thought we'd go do a quick snapshot of how the heating system works. So we're going to look at the auxiliary heater, and then I'm going to give you a quick overview of the other heating systems that work on the vehicle when you're actually driving as well, because there's two separate heating systems. We're going to have a look at those today. Hopefully, Stu, this will help you out. I will make one quick comment on the book. But I was told a long time ago that the handbook is written in German, and then it's translated into lots of different languages. You're not alone if you're confused by the handbook. I usually have to read it 3 or 4 times until I actually understand what it actually means and goes through. Anyway, let's have a look at the heating system and start. So the auxiliary heating system is designed to work completely independent from the actual vehicle itself. So this is when you're camping, you're parked up on the side of a road, or you're camping overnight and you want your heating system to be on. And essentially it's a separate heater. It's located underneath the body of the vehicle here, about where we are in the middle, and it's got its own exhaust system, and that exhaust system then comes out along the line of your main exhaust, so it points towards your main exhaust system. It's a diesel heater, so it's drawing diesel from your tank. So a couple of things from that: obviously you need to make sure you've got diesel in your tank, and you've got enough diesel in your tank as well, obviously, to last out. Don't panic though, because it will not run your diesel tank dry. So if your diesel is too low, obviously it will stop using it, because it doesn't want you not to be able to drive off and run out of fuel. So the actual system itself, obviously you've got the heating side of it, but obviously it's an air heater essentially, so it's drawing air in. So on your B pillar on here, there's 2 vents, one at the back and then a big vent that's actually on the side here, and the big vent is on the side, is what's pushing that hot air out and then directing it into your main cabin. So the heating system is completely controlled via the head-up display, which we'll have a look at in a moment. We've done a video in the past, we talked about batteries and how, people often ask me how long will batteries last on the vehicle. I've been told that one of the biggest draws or the biggest uses of battery power can actually be your heater, which is a bit of a strange one, because obviously it's diesel, it doesn't use electricity to actually, it doesn't use that to produce the heat. But what it does do is it does use that for the fans. So obviously to blow air out from on here at the side and to intake air from in there, uses power from your batteries that are on board. So because of that, obviously, it can be a big drain on your battery. And lastly, before we go and have a look at the control panel, whether you've got a coast or an ocean, this is the same system in both. So there's no differences between those 2 vehicles. And obviously on the control panel on here, you've got your main screen only showing your battery, so the battery's all good. That's in this one here in the showroom model. But if you move over to the next one, we've got our auxiliary heating, so that's the one we want to use. So click into it on there, and then in there, then you've got continuous heating, settings and operating mode, and heat immediately underneath. So the first thing to do when you've got your California Ocean on the auxiliary heater is actually make sure it's actually in the right operating mode, because there are 2 different versions it can actually operate in. So it can operate as far as the actual air heater is concerned, and it can also operate in a ventilation mode as well, which is slightly different. You don't need the ventilation mode. The one that you want is the air auxiliary heater. So I'll show you how you do that first before we do anything else. So on your main screen here, just flick to the side, go to auxiliary heater. It's in there. Click on operating mode, and then you'll see at the moment we're in ventilate. If you move these across to auxiliary heater, and then press the backup key, and then you say what setting do you want that on. So put 4 or 5 or 3, whatever you want. Press OK and give it a minute, and now that is now set to the air heater, so it's going to control the air heater through that particular system instead. Now the heating continuously is on level 5, but if you click into there and go activate and press the button in, it's on here, it turns it on, but you can then change that heating setting to whatever you want to do. So you can go with 5, for example, and that just stores it at that particular setting that you would use from on there. Now this will depend on how hot or cold you want it. The last times I've been away, I tended to leave it on about a 4, which tend to be too hot anyway, and you tend up turning it down from there, but just to get the initial heat that's going on there. So everybody's different, so you just have to gauge that for yourselves, what you want to do and which setting you want to use. So if you want to heat immediately, just press the button there. And I don't know whether you can hear or not, but actually starting to heat now. I can hear the fans going. Now I've got the handbook out. This is all in section, it's in page 30 of the handbook onwards from on here. And one thing it does say, which we're now doing, is don't run the heater in an enclosed space. So we shouldn't really have it on within the showroom space, but it's only just gone on for a second or two now, because obviously it's going to vent your gases out onto underneath the vehicle. These doors are open, the showroom itself is all open from here, so it does warn you in here that it should only be used outside. Now, to turn your heater off, immediately turn it off. It's exactly the same process. So where it says heat immediately, obviously it's on now, and you've got your little sign up here that's saying it's on. So what we need to do now is just click that button, and that will turn it off. So we've got two other things just to have a quick look at that are in here, and these are in the settings menu. So if you press settings, it's in here, you've got departure time 1, departure time 2, departure time 3 and run time. So basically what this allows you to do is to set the times when you want the heater to actually come on. So for example, departure time 1 could be 7 o'clock in the morning, so that the vehicle heats up as you're waking up in the morning. Departure time 2 could be 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because you know it's starting to go a bit cold then maybe. And departure time 3 might be, for example, at 10 o'clock at night, because you just got back from the pub and you've had an evening meal and you want the vehicle to warm up. And the run time is how long that actually stays on for. So you might want it half an hour for it to come on at a time, or for example if it's at night time you might only want it on for 15 minutes just to warm the vehicle up. These are things that you're going to gauge on how quickly your vehicle warms up, and depends on when it actually is. So if we have a look at the run time first, really easy to change. So you press the change button, up or down depending on how long you want it for, up to a maximum of 120 minutes. I would think for most people to start with, you'd probably maybe go 30 minutes maybe. That's there. Press the back key, and that's now activated on the 30 minutes. So if you now went to, for example, departure 1, click change again on there, and we'll use this as the morning time. Click on the hour, 7 o'clock, minute 0, save, and then do you want to activate? Go activate, and you get a blue light that comes on here. For Friday at 7, so next Friday at 7 o'clock in the morning, this vehicle's heating system will turn on, and it will turn on and it will run for 30 minutes. And you've got 3 programs that you can put in from on there as well. So if you know what you're doing, you can get it to come on those days. And the heating system is blue, so that you know that there's a memory activated on there. Once 7 o'clock comes round, that will then change to orange, and that will let you know that the heating system is activated. Now we set the time for 7 o'clock on Friday, but you have also got the option to change it to at. What at will do is then that will obviously do it at 7 o'clock every day. Your heating will come on, as long as you've activated it. So for example, you've been away for the week, every morning 7 o'clock your heating system's been coming on to wake you up. You're back home now though and you want to turn it off. Really simple to do that. Just go into change again, and do you want to deactivate? Click deactivate, and the whole system comes back off. Your blue light's gone off and your heating system now is just turned off. So in summary, just to look at all those 3 options. So option 1 is obviously you can turn it on and off as you please. Number 2, obviously you then can program it to come on, and so you've got those 3 different times that you can program it. And the important thing, as I said, obviously is to make sure that it actually is switched on to the air system, which is on there as well, and it's not on the ventilate system, because obviously then if it's on that, if it's on ventilate, you'll know it's on ventilate, because you'll start to hear your fans from actually your dashboard, and you'll feel air coming up from the front of your dashboard if you turn it on that basis instead. So you will know that it's not on the right setting. So I mentioned that previously we'd have a look at the other heating system as well. So that's the engine heating system, and it has got an auxiliary one in the rear as well. I think you've probably heard enough from me today anyway. This video is quite longer than we thought it would be. What we're going to do is we're going to do a separate video on those next time as well. We'll just take you through the actual engine heating system and obviously the auxiliary heater in the back as well, which works in combination with that as well. Hope you found this useful. Stu, thanks for your comments. I hope you found this helpful as well. Probably by the time this video comes out you might have already sorted these things out. But if you've enjoyed today's video, give us a like, give us a thumbs up. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next time.